Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society. And today I want to go over some real raunchy cases that in the past, years back before we came along and started moving some of these teeth around, the only thing that they could do, they extracted the teeth and trimmed the bone off and made dentures for them. But I want to show you how we can do these things orthodontically today. And I think that people are going to demand that they be treated or taken care of in situations like that. And that's why I call this the future of orthodontics. And let's get started on. I'm going to go through several of these cases. We've already put them on made videos of them. You can go back and get that and study it. What I'm going to talk about today is what am I thinking when they come to you like that. So let's get going here. I'm going to have, all right. When you look at this young man's face, it looks perfectly normal. I mean, you can't realize that the teeth are in the shape they're in. He has a tremendous deep bite, but yet his vertical heights of the face and everything are pretty well normal, and he looks pretty normal. But then when you actually look in his mouth, now when he smiles, you don't pick it up immediately. You see the cuspids and things kind of poking out at the sides back here, but you can't imagine that the lower front teeth are up against the roof of the mouth in there. Now I'm going to go and then open his mouth, and we had already started this case, but I just wanted to show you and say what enters my mind. I do a self picture of this, but just to see the airway and the adenoids, and maybe you can look down and see a little tonsils or something like that. But if this person came to someone, you can't do this surgically. I mean, we've got just about, I think it's over a half inch of space on one side and the other. What comes into my mind when I look at this case, and I've done this so much, that I don't think there's a movement of the teeth that you can't do. But this was not taught in orthodontic school. I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to go, thank goodness, and I didn't know you couldn't do some of these things. But let's watch this case do how nature levels this out. So what I look and I know that I can expand anybody's arch as long as they're living. I mean, just going apart. And that we have control over the teeth going up and down like this. And teeth come into the mouth, they want to come in contact with the teeth below them. But when this guy closes to, these lower front teeth go up in here, up in somewhere on his mouth. I don't think I've got a good picture showing that. And someone other lost his x-rays on this. And we did this years ago. And then I've come to realize that this is something we had way out there. But as I lectured on it and shown this and talked to people, and got very few people just really took to it and tried to learn it. But now we've spread it all over the world. And I think this will be the future of orthodontics. Now watch what happens here. Let's go. Now we put a little old flexible wire in here coming down, catching this. I open this up for this spring in here, a little bit of spring there, and we took this arch wire. It goes way down here. We came up and tied it to these teeth, and we'll start pushing. These teeth are going to go down, and these are going to go up. And whatever you come off of here on the molars and you do over here, you'll have exactly the opposite force coming. In other words, they're going to be putting these teeth down while these teeth tend to be pushed up. And the same up here, these teeth will go up as these teeth over here go down. And you just let nature shape this arch out, and you watch it do that. And that is, we pull it, you get it more normal. The force inside the mouth, the tongue, the swallowing, and things, if they're doing it normally, that will shape the teeth out. This gentle force will move that along. Now I'm going to erase that and then go. Now you can see it's already coming down. In other words, these teeth are coming together a little bit better. And what we did, we knew we had to put something up here, so I put a block of acrylic up in the front of the mouth. And part of that, now mostly we just put these arch wires in. Now we had a crowded situation, so we take some teeth out of him, or else he's looks like he lost a tooth in this area right there. And then I took a bicuspid over here. Now this is something happened down on the lower arch. Now we took the bicuspids out here, and these are the teeth that we're going down in this direction. I can't draw that over here, but these are going down, and these teeth out here, the whole thing are moving together like this, while the top teeth are moving in the opposite, the front teeth, are moving in the opposite direction. Teeth want to erupt together until they touch. And so these teeth are what it was touching on right here. Teeth move toward one another till they touch. And we go down here, we go through this. Now you see this is getting closer already. I'm not keeping up with the time that it took us to do that. But even if it took a long time, the whole shape of the palate up here is changing day by day with just a gentle, long, constant pressure, and we're leveling this thing out. Now this was a long time ago. We used a little elastic thread to pull that tooth through there. Now it's getting better looking as we go along here. Now these teeth up here are leveling out, and these are almost in contact. Now it takes several months before the teeth actually erupt together. Now normally when he closed to, he would bite and his lower teeth would go way up underneath here, and now we'll keep going down till these will get up, and you'll see his lower teeth come in place down here at the bottom. And we had, well, all we had on here was just this arch wire would be down in this fashion. And that's 377. You can figure out how many months or years it took us to do it. And we probably did it in a couple of, maybe 2.5 years. We came through with it. Now look at the arch. You see, he had missed a molar tooth over here. We got one out in this area right there. Now we are closing this up. We got a wire coming in through here and over here. This is getting the normal, just regular orthodontics. Now we're just sliding the teeth together while nature is bringing them together this way. We put nothing in there. We just kind of push these down and the upper teeth up, and the force to get these down, raise this up, and then he's got to chewing on that. Now here it is, 77, and we're just getting down the line now. Now the guy's teeth look almost normal in here, where he lost a molar over here. And we got the central, the lateral, the cuspid in both bias. And this is the second molar and the wisdom tooth. And this is the first molar and the second molar. I don't know what the wisdom tooth on that side, I don't think we have that. Down on the bottom now, we took out the first bias to balance this thing up. I've got a separator in there where we just separate that. We'll band that tooth back there. This is looking almost normal now. Now, at this point, January of 78, when I touch his teeth together here, we still got a pretty good space up there. And we'll continue with it going down and raise it upwards up in the front part of the mouth. You can see the arch wires coming down here. That's pushing this down. And this one over here is pushing this up and taking this, it'll be coming down. That's going to be going up. Now look at it. Now the whole shape of this whole deal has changed as we do this. There's no way you can do that surgically or any other way. If you go in and operate, cut the maxilla in pieces and put it back together, we're allowing nature to move these teeth in a position, and we just are helping it. I don't know how on earth this young man's teeth got in this shape. Now we've got the bottom teeth are together. He has no wisdom teeth. This is 78, and we've got them coming down. These teeth right here that used to be fitting way up there when they were touched, and they were closed like that. You had a big gap, but he could get his teeth together. But the bottom teeth were up here. These teeth were down here somewhere. Now, it gets closer and closer to normal. And we had to correct midline a little bit. Now, we started this in 70s. That's 8 of 79 now. It may have taken 2.5 or 3 years to do it. But here we are, we have finished the guy up, and back then we had brackets, bands, and in between every tooth you had 2 layers of metal and 2 layers of cement between every tooth in here. And the way we closed them, we left the brackets, the bands on the molars, and we wore a rubber band from one side to the other, just a light rubber band, and had them chew bubble gum and everything to kind of keep the soreness away. And we closed it, but you didn't have control over, like you didn't know how the torque and everything out here, so you had a little more than you needed, and when you closed the space, it would kind of close up like that. And once we got it closed, we took an impression of that, and we made some retainers for him to wear. Now the looks like that. Now here the guy is 12 of 79. After we left those motors bands, we'll take those off, and I can close that space with a retainer. And here's the retainer in there, and we put a bite plate up here, and if he wears that retainer, and he'll have to wear it until the mouth finally gets down to where the pressure on the inside, looking going out like this, is equal to the pressure on the outside, and the teeth always go to that position with what the pressure inside and outside is about the same. The teeth come into that position. And so he would wear that and stay with it for a good long while until the bite just finally gets accustomed to that position, holding that up. And if it's too much here, the muscles will pull it down and it'll flatten out. And as long as you keep it under retention, it'll end up that way. So that's the end of that. Now, what I want people to come to the point where they're not afraid to tackle something like this. Now, and you can, in other words, you could close or take a case that was completely, had a bite that was the deepest I've ever seen, like that. Just screwed up, and back for years when I first started, somebody like this, you'd have pulled all their teeth and trimmed all the bone up and made some dentures for them. Now it's changed, and I think that people will demand that orthodontists learn how to do this. You can't get this done, or you couldn't. And I've lectured on it for years and shown people, but very little people grabbed it and took off with it. And we're going to try to get the American Orthodontic Society some teachers that know that. We have some good guys learning how to do these things, and so that's what we're going to try to do. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in to our videos, and we're going to try to make orthodontics one of the best things going for fixing up the teeth. We found that you can do just most anything, any movement that you can come up with. You can do it and let nature restore the teeth back to their shape. So I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll close off now. And I'm going to show another case that's equally as bad.